you saw like the way that the trailer ended, looking at these really big questions about our future, where humanity is headed. And these are things that in the last years, as I was working on the book, I got more and more engrossed in. But interestingly, when I first actually started the process of writing this book, which was pretty much about 10 years ago, it's a big chunk of my life, has been the research and the writing of this book, I really wasn't pulled into it asking these questions at that point. What really pulled me into it was I was conducting my own search for meaning. In fact, I was in a period of my life when things were changing quite drastically, and things that I built my life on for the earlier part of my adulthood felt like they were kind of crashing around me. I'd taken a company public. I founded a company and took it public during the first internet craze back in the late 1990s. And my wife at the time, and she passed away some years back, began to have some serious health problems. So I stepped aside from the company to look after her. And as years went on, the company itself collapsed. I really stepped aside too early, and then I lost the person I'd spent my life with up till that time. So it felt like this real moment of sense like it was time to sort of rebuild my life in a different direction. And I kind of vowed to myself that whatever I did with my life going forward was going to be truly meaningful. And then I started asking this question, well, what is meaning? Where does that come from? And these ideas that I saw around me in the world, I started to wonder, where did, I didn't want to take somebody else's word for it. I wanted to find out for myself, where did meaning come from? And that's, as I started to ask myself that question, it led me to kind of peel the onion of these received ideas that we really take without thinking about in our current civilization, whether it's science versus religion, or whether it's senses of like heaven and hell, or mind versus body, and all these different ways in which we make sense of the world. And I began to discover that different cultures had very different notions of what that was about. And it was really only after some time of doing my own research, I began to go, it would be so good if there were a book that actually I could have found that could have helped me in this, sort of to map out this. So since I had done a lot of research by that time, I realized there was no book quite like that. I figured, well, let me just take a lot of what I had done so far and keep researching it to create this book, The Patterning Instinct. And what was interesting is that as my own search for meaning led to understanding these things, it also led me to recognize how this question of meaning is so involved in the very issues that our current civilization is dealing with. The one is not separate from the other. And in order for us to shift the direction of our civilization, we have to really shift where we get our meaning from, which adds this other layer of where I hope the book will really be most helpful.